Welcome to Manage Your Money. My name is Victoria Stinson, and I'm a staff accountant at Secker, Perry LLP, right here in Kingston, Ontario. I'm also a graduate of the Business Administration Accounting program at St. Lawrence College, class of 2014. I've been involved with the Manage Your Money program since 2012, and today we're going to discuss the cost of living, types of income, and income taxes. So let's talk about the cost of living. It's a term we've all heard, but what does it really mean? The cost of living is the average cost that a household can expect to spend on basic expenses: food, accommodations, transportation, and clothing. In Canada, the cost of living will vary from one community to another, so it's difficult to give an exact figure that will apply to every household. As well, everyone has to consider unexpected expenses. Unexpected trips to the dentist or the doctor could change how much you spend in any given month. And remember that costs of individual items, such as food, can go up or down over time. When we talk about the cost of living, we have to consider some of the mandatory deductions that you see taken off of your paycheck. And don't worry, we'll talk more about paychecks in detail in just a minute. Deductions for income tax, Canada Pension Plan, and employment insurance will come off of your paycheck once you start working and earning an income. Also remember that the government will charge a GST or HST on many of your purchases. So given what we now know about the cost of living, which again is the average amount that a household can expect to spend on their basic expenses, would the cost of living stay the same year after year after year? No, we know that prices change over time, and so the cost of living will change too. This is what's called the cost of living adjustment. So how does cost of living adjustment affect you? One of the best examples of how the cost of living adjustment affects you is through minimum wage. What is minimum wage? Minimum wage is the minimum amount that an employer can pay an employee. And it varies from province to province, and in some cases, on what kind of work you do. Visit your provincial government's website for details on what the minimum wage is in your area. So over time, as the cost of living changes, the cost of living adjustment is applied to things like minimum wage. So as cost of living changes, minimum wage can change too to keep up. So now we know all about cost of living, and now we know that we have to get out there into the working world and earn an income in order to have the lifestyle that we want. In this section, we'll be talking about the 4 different types of income that you could potentially earn in the workforce. The 4 types of income are salary, wage, piecework, and commission. One type of income you could earn is salary. A salary means that your employer will give you a yearly amount. They'll divide that amount by the number of pay periods that you can expect to receive, and that's what will be issued on your paycheck. So, if you had a salary job where you earned $26,000 and had 26 pay periods in a year, you would earn $1,000 each pay period. Our next type of income that you could earn is wages. Wages means a certain amount of pay per hour of work. So, if you worked 8 hours for $11 per hour, you would earn $88. Another type of income you could earn is called piecework. This means you're paid a certain amount for every completed piece of work. A very common example of this in Canada is tree planting. If you're paid 25 cents for every tree you plant, and you plant 100 trees, you'll earn $25. And another type of income you could earn is commission. Commission means you earn a percentage of what you have sold or what service you've provided. A good example of that in Canada is a real estate agent. For every home that they sell, they earn a percentage of that selling price. So, for example, if you sold a $100,000 home and your commission rate was 5%, you would earn $5,000. So now you've earned your money. Now the question on everyone's mind is, when do I get paid? And the answer is, it depends. Pay periods will vary. Most people in Canada get paid on a bi-weekly basis, which means they get paid every 2 weeks. You could also have pay periods that are monthly, semi-monthly, or weekly. So no matter what your pay frequency is, I know you'll be happy when you do get that paycheck. But remember, take the time every time you get paid to check your pay stub. Your pay stub has important information about how much you've been paid and how that pay was calculated. Remember, it's your money. Make sure that you check every pay stub for any mistakes to be sure that you're paid fairly. So let's talk about what's on a pay stub so you know what to look for. One thing you want to check on your pay stub is your name and address. This may sound like basic information, but it's important that your employer has the correct name and address on their records. There may be other documentation, including information for your taxes, that will be sent to the address that they have on record. Another thing you want to check on your pay stub is your rate and hours. So, if, for example, you are a wage earner, make sure that your wage per hour is recorded correctly. Also, check the number of hours that are on your pay stub and compare it to your own calendar. Make sure every hour you work, you've been paid for. You also want to check the pay period. This information will tell you exactly for what days you are being paid. Compare that with your own calendar to make sure that you've been paid in full for every day and every hour that you have worked. Gross earnings will also appear on your pay stub, and it's important that you check that that's been calculated accurately. All you need to do is simply multiply your rate by your hours. And don't forget to check net pay. This is your gross earnings minus your statutory deductions. Make sure that the calculations have been performed accurately because net pay is what you get to put in your pocket. Next come the statutory deductions. And yes, these are the things that come off of your paycheck. These are required to be deducted by your employer and remitted on your behalf to the Canada Revenue Agency. Depending on where you work and what kind of work you do, you may also see deductions for union dues, health and dental insurance, and you may be making contributions to a registered retirement savings plan. No matter what the deductions are, make sure you check them. Again, it's your money. Make sure that it's being treated properly. So now you know all about the anatomy of your paycheck. But we're not done yet, because guess what? Every year, you'll have to file an income tax return. So let's talk about the income tax return, what it is, and why you have to file it at all. Well, taxes help to pay for lots of resources and infrastructure that we all enjoy. Roads, schools, and hospitals are just some of the examples that your tax dollars help to fund. Every individual is expected to file a tax return, but not every individual has to pay income tax. And those who pay, not everybody pays the same amount. But there's more than one reason for you to file your tax return, and yes, you must file a tax return. In addition to establishing creditworthiness, you may get a refund. You may be eligible to receive a GST or HST rebate. You can also start keeping track of your RRSP contributions so you can make withdrawals under the Home Buyers Plan or the Lifelong Learning Plan. Imagine what you could do with those plans to help improve your education, your home, and your future. So what dates do you need to know to make sure your income tax return is filed on time? If you're an employed individual, your filing deadline is April 30th. If you're self-employed, your filing deadline is June 15th. Don't leave it to the last minute. Make sure that your returns are filed with plenty of time. Some individuals will have tax to pay when they file their tax return. Make sure that you file on time and that you pay any amount due on time. Avoid the interest and penalties and save yourself some money. So we've covered a lot of information today. We've talked about the cost of living, the types of income you can earn, what shows up on your pay stub, and income taxes. We hope that you've learned something new today that you can apply to your money. My name is Victoria Stinson. Thanks very much for participating.